Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Last one of the night. Want to finish on a good one, and boy, this is a good one. This has put a smile on my face for several reasons. One, at least, is that we have hope for the future. The second reason is because I'm on YouTube. Young Britons, this has been revealed, right? There's a Grayling Media and More in Common poll. Young Britons are breaking up with mainstream media. They don't watch it anymore. Young Britons now trust AI, influencers, podcasters, and YouTubers more than they trust newspapers or television news. The new generation for the new media. And it goes to show that the young ones of today, well, they think pretty much like my current cohort of viewers. I look at my numbers. My viewers are predominantly over 45 and predominantly men. And I do have some very, very wonderful ladies who watch, and for which I am eternally grateful. But it's something like 90% of my viewers are over 45, and about 75% of my viewers are male, and that's okay. I'd like more ladies to view. So particularly if you're a lady, do please hit subscribe. In fact, all of you, if you get to subscribe, hit subscribe. But particularly ladies, let's get in there and get that. Let's get that balance nearer, to what it should be. But that aside, nearly half of Gen Z say they trust online creators. And remember, as well, as a quick aside, this current generation coming up, Gen Z, are the furthest to the right of any generation since us. So really the boomers, but the boomers and us Gen Xers. I know an awful lot of boomers watch too. I thank you for your views. My parents are boomers and I love them dearly. Like I say, they trust online creators, they trust YouTubers and podcasters more than legacy media. 48% say they use AI tools to get their news, which is more than double the number who read newspapers. Now, it isn't just the Gen Zers. The same poll showed that over 60% of the public trust YouTubers online and whatever, and barely 40% trust journalists at major outlets, because the mainstream media provably lies, provably has bias, will alter stories according to what those in power want, because they want to have access. It's called access media. If you don't print what we want you to print, you're not going to be invited to our next press conference. And of course, they want to be at the next press conference. There's drinkies and sandwiches and things. Luke Trill, Executive Director of More in Common, the polling organisation, said, Britons are searching for truth in new and different places. For many older people, that means local radio and television news. While that's very patronising. You're here. While younger generations are drawn to social media, AI chatbots and podcasters. Young people's instinct to look outside the mainstream for information helps explain not just their media habits, but their politics too, as young people turn away from established parties and towards new movements, from independent candidates to Jeremy Corbyn's new party. Yes, but the old media is always pushing that leftism, whereas the new media tends not to. And that's why these young Gen Zers are growing up, looking at the left and thinking, yeah, you know what? All these people on YouTube saying that the socialism is shit and that the left is shit. And I look around and I see it and I go, yeah, it's shit. Because I'm not just saying it's shit, I'm telling them why it's shit. And they get it. Whereas what you have in schools, the mainstream media, whatever they can push is, oh no, but if you're on the right, you're evil. Why? No, you're just evil. Take my word. You've got to be on the left because you're virtuous and wonderful and lovely if you're on the left. Those people on the right, they're horrible. Well, what have they done wrong? Oh, no, they're horrible things. They won't tell them. Whereas I can actually sit there and tell you why socialism is terrible. Ronald Reagan joke, wasn't it? He said he was at a friend's house and they were Democrats. Ronald Reagan, obviously a Republican. He said he was sitting there and the little girl was there, their daughter, and he said, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" She said, "Oh, I want to be this and a doctor and whatever." That's very good. And she said, "Well, what are you going to do about the poor?" And Reagan said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, there's all these poor people. What are you going to do about them?" I said, "Well, I'll tell you what," he says. "Why don't you come round to my house? You mow my lawn. I'll give you $10." Said, "Then you can go and give it to a homeless person." And the little girl said, "Well, why don't I get the homeless person to do the mowing of the lawn? You give him the $10. And Reagan said, "Welcome to the Republican Party." Anyway, this is where we're at. These young people are growing up. They don't like the left. They're watching new media. This is why TV news is dying. This is why TV is dying. The whole mainstream media, not just the news, actual just watching TV is dying. Numbers are down all the time. There was a report, oh God, it was in, can't think of the name of it, Broadcast is the name of it. It's a magazine. It's an in-house magazine for television companies, Broadcast it's called. And in there, the editor there did an editorial, and they're blaming viewers for people not watching what television is making. Oh yes, it's not the commissioners who are making these programs. It's not the fact that we've stopped making good quality programs and we just fill the airways with cheap reality TV. It's not the fact that we don't have any decent game shows anymore, or that we don't have any decent personalities. It's not the fact that it's all woke as shite. Oh no, it's viewers. It's the viewers' fault. Unbelievable, isn't it? Anyway, the report, going back just to round off, also finds 56 believe, and this is 56% of all Britons, not just the young, 56% believe that there's no single truth about events in the world, rising to 66 for Green Party voters. Yeah, well, of course they're going to be, because they're very dumb. Only 35% believe there's such a thing as objective facts. All facts are objective facts. A fact is a fact. There is no, how can we put this? There's no sliding scale. A fact is a fact. It cannot be anything other. If it isn't true, it isn't a fact, Anyway, AI tools, 48% use AI tools more than twice as often as newspapers. And only 11% of young people even read a newspaper. Good news for the trees, isn't it? Nobody's reading newspapers, so they're not cutting them down. I reckon, and I'm going to be absolutely serious here, I'm going to make a prediction that within 10 years, so where are we at? By 2035, there will be no deadwood publications. Books, yes. Newspapers, no. There will be no newspapers. There may still be magazines. There may still always be a case for magazines. And books, definitely. But I think newspapers are dead. And I think they just haven't realised it yet. But I reckon within 10 years, there'll be no newspapers. Let me know what you think. And have a very, very good night. It's great being on the right side, isn't it? Thanks for coming. Thanks for staying. Hit subscribe. Bye.